What's up, guys? In this episode, I'm going to go through all of the social media content creation equipment that's in my camera bags in 2021. Really quick episode. You guys are going to get value from what you need to add to your equipment list to make better content. Let's go right now. Alright guys, this episode is going to be long but quick. What I mean by that is I'm going to go through each of the items in my bag really briefly. I'm going to say what it is, where to get it, and what I like about it. No extra fluff. And I got two camera bags. So we're going to go through both of them, what I'm taking with me to every single content creation shoot. Everything I talk about today, the links are going to be in the description below so you guys can do your own due diligence and see what's going to make a difference for you. First of all, before what's in the bag, what bag am I using? I use right now the ProTactic BP 450 AW2 from Lowepro. And I love these bags. They have compartments, they're really easy to use, and I got two. I got the older version and the newer version. Older version, newer version I like a lot. But if you could pick up one of these used that's in good condition, the older version is still great, just the ProTactic 450 AW. But this one, it's just got this hard part here. It's a little bit more formed. This one got a little bit deformed over the years. I take these two bags with me everywhere I go. So let's start out with the main gear. I carry two cameras with me everywhere I go. Right now I am filming on a Sony A7lll with a newer battery pack and a Rode mic on it for this episode, and we carry this, a Sony A7lll, as our backup camera. Now, I am a Sony shooter. I love the Sony cameras. Our lenses are all Sony. I just love it for the cinematic look and the dynamic range of color that these cameras can push out. Now, one thing though to note, the Sony A1 is out. 8K, 120 frames in 4K. It is just a beast of a camera. I haven't got it yet. It's an expensive camera. I'm going to put the link to that one below too. Do your due diligence between the three cameras. To be honest, if you're just getting into video or you're just into content creation, practicing and getting a used or a new A7lll is still going to be enough. It's going to get you 4K. It's going to get you 120 in 1080p. It's got all the gears. You can do everything custom. So you can learn to shoot manual before you get into that A1. This is going to do the job for you specifically for social media. A7R3 is a step up from that. And then when you get into the A1, that's just boom, mind-blowing. It's going to make a difference in your content. Next, lenses. I take 4 lenses with me everywhere I go. One is this zoom lens, my 70-300 G Master Sony. I use this anytime I'm shooting very, very far away, some landscape photography where the mountains or forests or trees are in the background. I'll also use this a lot of times for events where the stage is far away or weddings where you need to shoot it from a distance. This is my be-all lens. I use it on the camera anytime that I am on a trip or I just need to make sure I have everything with me. It's a 24-70 Zeiss Sony. I love this lens. Goes to 4 f-stop and it's 4 throughout the entire range, which allows me not to have to worry about zooming in and zooming out. Kind of helps with vlogging as well. Next, I take this macro lens, my Sony f2.8 50mm macro. The reason I take this one out is I find that it provides me with the 50mm on the go. If I don't have to do a lot of focus changes, then I can just use this one for basically anything I need a 50mm for. If I need to create a really cool dynamic shot, let's say I wanted to get the bubbles on some beer, or I wanted to get the insect or a really close-up of a leaf with some water dropping off of it, this macro lens is what I use. I carry it with me everywhere I go. I find it allows me to change my shots in the content that we're making. And then on the camera right now, my G Master 1.4 f-stop 24mm. That is my lens. I love it for shooting videos. It's my wide. It just does everything. It's one of those lenses that you get just more perspective. It's crystal clear and the depth of field is unbelievable. So another lens to take a look at. All right, next, the fun stuff. All of the other little gadgets in the kit that I take around. One, I'm carrying my GoPros. I use the Joby Gorillapod mini pod on the bottom. I take this with me everywhere, really easy to use and take around. And I carry 3 GoPros in my kit. I carry a 7, an 8, and a 9. The reason I carry 7, 8, and 9 is I call them kind of like my burner GoPro, the one I can use for anything, and I'm not worried if it hits the dirt, if it hits the concrete. It's kind of that one that you can use on some really crazy shots. My second one, the 8 and 9, there's not too much difference between them to me. They both do extremely well. I use them a lot for getting time lapses. I use them a lot as secondary cameras. And I use them a lot to get secondary audio on jobs. The audio is not perfect, but it is good enough as a backup audio that could save your project when something like the Rode mic or the lapel isn't working. So I usually set one up just to get some secondary audio. It has saved me a couple times, not gonna lie. Next, JJC memory card cases. I go through a lot of memory cards. If you've been making lots of content, you know that memory cards break, they snap, they stop working, so I protect them. I use this JJC case, comes with an adapter. One tip for you guys, I flip the memory cards over when they're full. That means that these memory cards, I need to clean them off, and there's good projects on them. So anyone that's not flipped means that I can use it. That's how I keep track. Next, my light. Ta-da! This I take with me everywhere. Now, you may see other creators, they use a variety of different rechargeable lights. I use this one because it's relatively affordable and I can have multiples of them. This is a GVM bicolor LED camera light. And I don't know what that brand is. I buy a lot of Neewer. You'll hear about that today just because of its affordability. I talk about that a lot, but there's other brands out there. What you're looking for is a small bicolor, one that can change the hue of the light that's coming out of it so that you can create different types of shots on your job. I love this light. I use it for anything. It provides some accent. I use it even on my shoots here. It runs off these slick batteries, which I'm going to talk about in a second, that I use for all of my lights. And you just need one of these. It comes with these little stands so that you can stand it up, and when you're on the shoot it just helps because you can just stand it on the side. It provides enough light that if you're in a low light situation you can still save the shots, pumping up your ISO just a tiny bit. So I carry this, it's in my bag everywhere I go, and then I'll take the other lights in secondary bags if I think I'm gonna need them. Next, my camera batteries. I buy some knockoff batteries on Amazon. This one's a Bat Max Sony FZ100. They go well in the battery grip for the Sony A7R3. But one thing I'll note is on the cameras, sometimes it will tell you that it's not a Sony battery and that the operation isn't guaranteed when using these batteries. So just something to note, if you're on a really, really good shoot and everything has to go perfect, you might not want to use one of the knockoff batteries. Use your original Sony batteries for that shoot. Now for my light batteries. All of the lights I buy come with these MPF550 batteries. Now there are larger batteries, which I'll show you in a second, that I order, but these 550s are amazing. I have a bunch of different brands again. I got Neewer, I got New Mawa, and essentially they all work the same. But one thing to note when looking at them is look at the amps and the milliamps. This one's 3000, this one's 2200. This one's gonna last a little longer. So as technology evolves and they try to pack more milliamps in, I do try to get the medium size ones because they last a little longer than 2200, which just dies on the big lights in no time. Here is an example of the large ones that I buy, which I'll also put below. They have a little USB spot, which comes in really handy, but they're heavy, so you can't carry them everywhere. But they have this little battery check, 3 dots. This one's gonna last a while. For the newer lights, it works really well. Might as well talk about the newer lights now. I use a lot of the newer LED lights, just the regular white color. This one's 3200 to 5600K. It allows me to change the color of light from kind of like a nice white yellow to pure white. And honestly, the reason I keep buying these and I don't go to other lights is lights break. Now I know other content creators might not say the same thing, but when you're on shoots and things are busy and you got the stands and they're going around and you plug them in, the cord will break, the back will break. On these, the screws on the side always get stripped, and they're not made of the most durable material, so they break. So we have to replace them in some capacity. So I just keep buying these ones. And typically, if I'm not carrying these 2 bags, I'll take 3 lights with me to the job, and that usually gets the job done. All right, other fun stuff. First of all, these little GoPro kits that now come with the 9 is great. I have them in my bag. They just slide in very nicely. As you guys will see here, how I have my compartments set. I just slide one in each side, and then I have a lot of space for my lenses on this main camera bag. In this one, I put my audio equipment. So I have the Rode Mic Plus on the camera, and I actually take this small Rode mic with me everywhere I go. So I take the small one, I can put the wind on it. The thing about this one that's great is it doesn't need a battery. You can just plug right into the camera. Now it's going to use your camera battery, but if the Rode Mic Plus runs out and I don't have a 9-volt with me, this is great as a backup. So you'll hear a lot of things with me today talking about backup. I'm one to realize that getting content is hard and shooting it twice is even harder. So I always want to have backups. I don't want to ever not be able to do something because of a shoot. And then my other audio kit, I have this Zoom F1 field recorder. What I like about this recorder, it also takes backup. When this is on the camera, it will record to a memory card on the recorder and into the camera. Amazing, because now I get 2 audio. And if one doesn't record, then I have it on the other. Also, we use this SARAMONIC Blink 500 transmitter. The reason we use these is these are wireless. This is great for any time I'm shooting 2 people talking in the same episode where they're sitting side by side. That way I can get it so that both audios come straight in the camera and I don't have to line it up afterwards. And then ta-da, my UV filters and my ND filters. I use a bunch of different UV and ND filters. I also carry these step rings with me everywhere I go. Step rings allow me to connect it to multiple lenses. And I have this Tiffen 58mm variable ND filter, which I use the most when I need an ND filter. That's why I carry the step rings, because I only carry 1 variable ND filter with me. There's a ton of ND filters out there now, but this is the older one that I use, relatively cheaper than some of the alternatives out there. I do want to get a new one for each lens specifically, but for now, this is a great alternative if you're looking for one that kind of does everything. Finally, in my main bag, hard drive. Always carry a hard drive with me. I always want to back up the footage. Okay, I'll say backup again. Backup, backup, backup. So halfway through the job, I will go to my computer and upload it. Just check the footage is good, back it up once, leave it on the memory card. Now I got 2 versions. Next camera bag. Ta-da! Gimbal. I take this Ronin everywhere I go. This is the new RSC2 and it is amazing. I don't know why I didn't get this sooner. It's a must, and the reason I like this one is it can carry my A7R III with the battery pack. I also bought this, which is a small rig handle that connects to the side specifically for those low foot shots where I'm carrying the camera. It helps me keep stable with two hands, but to be honest, I didn't really need this. This is kind of just something that looks fancy. I bought it, it was I think $70 or $80. You don't really need this. Next, sensor cleaners, camera cleaners, all of that fun stuff. You guys know that. Then I have my DJI Mini 2. Carry this around with me everywhere. Drone shots make a crazy difference in every piece of content. This Mini 2 now that does 4K, it was an absolute must. Then I carry 3 of these GoPro kits. And I just use this because they're great little containers. They are a little expensive, and there are other cheaper ones on Amazon, but I just always go back to the GoPro ones because they just are a little bit more durable. Inside, I have all of my GoPro stuff. So here's the 9. I got an Tesla ND filter on it. Get an ND filter for your main GoPro. It's going to bring the shutter speed down and make it look more cinematic in your content. So ND filter is a must. I also have the Media mod, which is great. And boom, I also have these amazing little GoPro lights. They just pump out so much light that I take them with me everywhere I go. Now, these will go on the GoPro. Specifically, if you ever see me shoot a vlog on a GoPro, this will be sitting on top and it just lights up the footage, brings the shutter speed down. The footage just looks that much better. Insta1X 360 camera, not absolute must, but a must if you're trying to make a different type of action footage. For example, say you're a bike shop and you're trying to stand out from your competitors who are just using a GoPro going straight down the hill, one angle, straight down the hill. The 360 camera gets all of the angles. Someone's riding behind you, you spin around to them, you come back. Insta has this great software that's on the phone and on the computer that allows you to do some of those movements with the camera footage. Now, I will say though, with this, I don't use it as much as I should. It's just a little harder to use. This is the first version. There is a newer version of the Insta360 that's come out since, and it's a little bit better in terms of usability with the screen on it. This one shoots 2.7K in 360, still great footage, and it just allows me to have a different option with the content that I'm making. Lastly, my last GoPro bag. Again, this one just has my Burner GoPro in it. Again, Burner GoPro. Example, you are at a restaurant and you're shooting some footage of making a drink. To make that footage better, you want to put a camera and get some shots of the ice coming into the cup and then the drink coming in on top of that. And you don't want to use your best camera that you use for other things. I don't want to use the GoPro 9 that I want to shoot a time lapse outside with during the shoot to try to save time. So boom, burn a GoPro in the cup, not worried about it. You can use it and you're less worried about the outcome of that. You see lots of batteries. I have some from GoPro, some that are from Amazon, and then chargers, all of the gear, everything else I need in terms of GoPros. Now I have a couple other things in my bag. Some of the last things are little tripods, and we have for the Insta-X360, the invisible selfie stick. I have the larger Joby Gorillapod that'll take with me on vlogs. And then again, the ND filters I talked about earlier. These are the Tesla ones for the GoPro. I have one on my GoPro. These other ones will go in the bag on shoots. One thing with these ND filters is the GoPro specific ones on the GoPro site actually screw on. So you could use them underwater. It's attached to the GoPro. These Tesla ones just slide on top of the lens, so just keep that in mind when weighing your options. Guys, everything I talked about today, there's a couple themes of my 2 camera kits I take with me everywhere. One, I've said backup a lot. I'm always wanting to have, I don't want to take shots twice. Like it just is amateur hour when you're at the job site and you're taking shots twice because something didn't turn out, or you get home and the footage isn't good. Every videographer, every content creator has had that happen to them, and then they got to try to save the footage some way or another. So we've built into our system a way to have the backups necessary. So that that doesn't happen. Secondly, with my kit, the second theme is I have a lot of different content creating options. I got the drone, I got the 360 camera, I got the GoPros, I got the Burner GoPro, I got a camera, and I got a backup camera. All of those give me a different option. I guess I got the lenses too. All of them give me a different option on the type of content that I'm trying to create. I always want these two kits to be fully set out, ready to go to the job at any time. Anyway, that is it for this episode. I hope you guys got some value from it. As always, hit up the comments below. Tell me what I did good, what I did bad. If you like episodes like this where you see what content creation equipment I'm taking with me year to year, I'll keep making these videos if you guys like them. I cannot wait to see you guys in my next episode. That's all for now. All right, guys, and annotations here. I talked about in the episode already. In the past, I have made mistakes in the gimbals that I have purchased. This is the DJI RS2. Again, it holds my camera with battery pack. It has a little bit more beef to it. This is the right one for my situation now, one that's going to last me a couple years. And that's why I have no problem showing it off and telling you guys how much I love it. In comparison to what else is out there, I just don't get the technology in some of the other ones that I see in this one to last a couple years. So if you guys are thinking about a gimbal, you're looking at different options. If you are a professional creator looking at making great social media content, then just consider this. I think that, again, I just think that it's right now on the market the best one. Just even balancing, look at these little clips. So you can put the camera on and balance one thing at a time. You don't have to balance all of the angles all at once. Just that alone speeds things up. Anyway, I just ranted about this. Love it. Hope you guys love it. All for now. Bye.